We are live from Contact in the Desert.
Bespoke radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
All right. Yeah. Fade to Black. Bespoke radio for the masses. Yeah, man. Today's Tuesday, June 5th, 2018. 155 days into the new year, just 210 days left. We are live from a bunker somewhere in beautiful downtown Burbank, California. And I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south. Far and near. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Wow. Unbelievable. For KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the Planet, I've just got to say, what a weekend. Okay, let's see. Okay, it looks like we're... All right, enough of that. We still have our streaming issues. Okay, so enough of that as far as the bunker cam goes. It's down. It's called being hassled by YouTube. They handle our stream. Yeah, that's what's going on. Okay, well, that's disappointing, but nonetheless, we're going to have a great show tonight. And once again, I get to just do a show. I don't have to worry about a camera facing me. And so there you go. I thought we were good to go, but YouTube wants to push back. And we're still working on that, by the way. Okay, so tonight... very special guest, author Laura Cantu is here. And before we get to all of that, I met Laura at the Conscious Life Expo, and I hung out with her for probably 3 days. Very cool, very bright, very awake. And so tonight we finally got her on the show. So she is going to be here. Pretty amazing. And earlier today, I put up a video, a trailer for one of her books. And you should go and check that out. It's right up there in Twitter, and you can go and take a peek at that. But an amazing animation that was done on that, so you should go and check it out. Tomorrow night is our big annual Contact in the Desert recap special. Now, we have got hundreds, and when I say hundreds, we have hundreds of images that we will be sharing. Time permitting, we will get as many of them in as possible. It'll be nearly impossible to get them all in, but we have got a really cool collection. And this year, for our recap special tomorrow night, I don't believe, now I can check with Rita, but I believe that Rita did not shoot one. I don't think she took out her phone and shot a picture all weekend. So tomorrow night, it's going to be a collection of photographs, of course, from Brad Harris. I took a few, too. But they're from all of you. And thank you for sending them all in. They're all great. And we'll get as many as we can in tomorrow night. We've got a great collection of stuff. And Thursday will be another Fader night. Open lines all night long. John Rappaport is on the road. Yeah, he's on vacation. So I don't believe his day back from vacation is Thursday night. And so I don't know. I don't know if I should, let him enjoy his last few minutes of vacation, but that's what's going on there. And then Friday will be off, and then I'll be over at Coast to Coast this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I don't host Sunday nights too often, but I'm going to do it this weekend. I'll be over at Coast to Coast, Saturday and Sunday. And my guests will be announced on Thursday as usual, so I can't announce them now and here. But I'll be over at Coast to Coast Saturday and Sunday. Looking forward to having a day off this Friday. I don't even know what Rita and I are going to do with ourselves. Man. Rita, maybe we should go to a movie. Let's go dinner and a movie. Just like relax. Dinner and a movie. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. All right. Don't forget, if you want to chase us down out there in the social media world, onstellar.com is where, and I am now getting Brad Olson. Okay. I get it. I just got the new iPhone X, and there it is. I just got the X. And yesterday, Rita and I got in from Palm Springs from Contact in the Desert. After the long weekend with all of you, we get back. Rita's phone, excuse me, over the weekend stopped ringing, and we couldn't figure it out. Reset the phone, we did this and everything, and it just, that was it. So in order for her to take a phone call, she had to have the phone. She couldn't set it down, right? That thing rings all day long. And so we get back, and we literally take the luggage out of the car, turn around, get back in the car after the drive, and went over to the phone store and just said, screw it. We don't want it fixed. Or whatever. We just got new iPhone X's. So we have been setting those up for the last day. But wonderful. I got to admit, the X is a pretty nice phone. I dig it. So where are we? Onstellar.com. You can go and friend and follow and do everything that you need to do over at onstellar.com. If you are not part of OnStellar, that social media platform, which is absolutely amazing, then what you need to do is go and register and just use, if you use my referral code, which is Jimmy, you'll get some extra bonus tokens there. So get over to onstellar.com, get registered, and start hanging out with everybody. It's an amazing community and platform with no restrictions. We're going to talk about Facebook and what just happened with them in a couple of minutes. You can also follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Twitter is where we hang out for the show. And the sandbox is hashtag F2B. We're still over on Facebook for a little while longer until the transfers of everything are done. But so you can go and do whatever you want on Facebook. We're just not there anymore. And YouTube, I don't know what's going on with YouTube. We have been attacked on YouTube, and it's getting resolved, but it's still not resolved yet. But I guess you can still go and subscribe to that channel while it's still up. Unbelievable. All right. Hashtag F2B on Twitter is the sandbox. And if you have any questions or comments, hashtag F2BQ. You can also email throughout the show, Jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. Okay, the breaking news. And I got to tell you, Renee is on top of her game. Renee, who handles all of our news here, other things, but and she, gets me the best news stories all day long, right? And right before showtime tonight, I get this email. Renee, I'm going to throw you under the bus. This is the title of the email, so she makes sure that I open it, right? It says, breaking news, and it's a doozy. And I was like, what? What's going on? Facebook has a data sharing partnership with at least 4 Chinese companies. The agreements, which date to at least 2010, gave private access to user data to Huawei, however you say that, Huawei, the phone manufacturer, a telecommunications equipment company that has been flagged by American intelligence officials as a national security threat, as well as Lenovo, Oppo, and TCL. The 4 partnerships still remain in effect, but Facebook will allegedly wind down the Huawei deal by the end of the week. I've seen those phones around. Those really, really cheap cell phones, Walmart, whatever. And it's a big company. But they have a very close relationship with the Chinese military and the Chinese government, right? And they had private access to user data. Unbelievable. My data. Your data. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I just don't like. I posted on Facebook today. One picture. I haven't posted on there since May 29th. Okay, last week. I just don't go to Facebook anymore. And then I did one post on May 28th. Everything saying go to OnStellar, or complaining about YouTube. That's what I do over at Facebook now. I posted one picture on Facebook today just because for those over there on Facebook that didn't make it to Contact in the Desert. So I posted one picture. And I didn't want to do that. And I just got off. I got in. I was there for like 4 minutes. And I just turned around and got out. And I don't even, I don't even want to give them the clicking credits. And then this release today, Facebook, it's Zuckerberg. So everything, Zucks goes to Washington, D.C., spends 2 days testifying. I didn't hear him say anything. What I remember is him saying, well, yeah, it was just this one time. That's it. We don't share data. No, it's not what we do. And it was just this one company, and they were a bad actor. They took the data, and we told them to delete it, and then they didn't delete it. But we don't know. We never do. And not only do they do it, but they do it with the Chinese. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Nothing against the Chinese people. No. They made this iPhone X. Hey, you know what? Apple should make everything here in the United States. They should just shut that stuff down. They should just, all of those TV, oh man. Just move that stuff here to the United States. That's it. That's just wrong. All right. That's why you need to go to OnStellar. OnStellar.com. No data mining, no advertising, no big corporate, no censorship, nothing. And you just get to go and enjoy an amazing dynamic social media platform that's got everything that Facebook has got. It does everything that Facebook does, or Twitter, right? There's going to be video channels added very, very soon. We've got a bunch of features that nobody else has. You can blog and write an article and have your own, right there, built into the platform for free, right there, your own editing software for writing. It's right there, and it's great. Yeah, fonts, and it's gorgeous. It's beautiful, and it's right there. It's built into the platform. Write your article. Done. It's incredible. OnStellar.com. Facebook is doing the best advertising for OnStellar that you could ever want. Thank you, Facebook. Go to OnStellar.com. You don't have to use my referral code, but if you do, you get a bonus of 15 tokens. You get 10 tokens, 10 OnStellar tokens when you sign up. Just go straight into your wallet. That's right. People ask about them. They're like, how much does it cost to sign up? It doesn't cost you. What are you talking about? It's a social media platform built on the blockchain. It's beautiful. Go and check it out. It's just absolutely wonderful. Our next event is coming up in 2 short weeks. 2 short weeks. June 23rd, right here in beautiful downtown Los Angeles, California. I will be at Disclosure Fest in the beautiful historic downtown LA Park, and it's on 35 acres right next to Chinatown. You go down, you're in downtown LA, right in the middle of Chinatown, and you look, and there's the beautiful Los Angeles skyline, 35 acres. It's gorgeous, multiple stages, lots of speakers. I will have, I'll do this for tomorrow's show, but you can go to disclosurefest.org and go and look at the list of speakers and the events and stuff. But it's absolutely amazing. There's going to be a mass meditation that we, just like we did last year. But to go down and hang out with like 10, 15,000 awakened souls is a pretty cool thing. There may even be more than that this year. It's a big festival. It's 100% free. All you got to do is just register on the website to get your free tickets. That's it. You just walk on. It's really a wonderful event, and we'll see you down there for that. Saturday, June 23rd. And then, right after that, it's like a week later, 2 weeks later, it is our Soul Tech Gathering up at ECETI Ranch, August 9th through the 12th, selling 60 more tickets. That's it. That's it. That's it. 60 is the number. I think it's 59. And that's it. Unbelievable. It's going to be one of the most amazing events that you're ever going to be able to get to. And Laura Cantu, who is on the show with us tonight, will be there at Soul Tech. All right, so Corey Good's going to be there, James Gilliland, Jason Quitt, Matthew Ryan, Michaela Sheldon, Teresa Yanaris. Okay, it's going to be amazing. Mary Gabrielle, John Lund, Dana Harvey, and others. Okay, so go and register and get your stuff together. You're going to be wanting a weekend of friendship, memories, fairies, my favorite. I can't wait to talk to Laura Cantu about fairies. You know, I talked about that fairies this weekend. We were over at Contact in the Desert, and somebody came out and said, so, Jimmy, man, you're not really? And so this gentleman comes up and he goes, you know, I'm looking at you now, and this is the first time that we have met, but I've heard you talk about fairies and your experiences at ECETI, and I'm looking at you now. You don't really believe in that, do you? I said, man, I do. 100%. And it's great. So come on up, ECETI Ranch, and let's experience Bigfoot and UFOs and awakening and teaching and hanging out at the fire pit and the Field of Dreams. It's absolutely amazing. All going down. Soul Tech Gathering at East City Ranch. Just go to soultechgathering.com. And then a week later, August 17th through the 19th, I'll be heading to Colorado, Boulder, Loveland, Colorado, for Dimensions of Disclosure. And you can go to dimensionsofdisclosure.com. For tickets and info there. Again, another amazing event. Corey Good and others. David Wilcock is going to be there. Jordan Sather is going to be there. I'm going to be there. And the entire list and the schedule is over at dimensionsofdisclosures.com. Okay. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. We have over 865 archive shows. Apps are Apple and Android and everything else, all platforms, just $2 a month. Click on the podcast banner at jimmychurchradio.com. And don't forget to become a Fadernaut over in our membership section of jimmychurchradio.com, where you would normally get the bunker cam. We don't have it tonight. When I say it, I wave. I just waved at the camera, and it's not on. I did it twice. Did you feel the vibe? I am waving at you, okay? I am waving. And you get commercial-free downloadable archives, and you'll also get, if you get the Game Changer, you get that famous Fade to Black gear, autographed hats and T-shirts. Oh, by the way, you see the T-shirt you can't see the T-shirt I'm wearing. Jordan Macaroni, I'm wearing your Infinite Empire shirt here in the bunker right now. Don't forget all of our sponsors, Life Change Tea, GetTheTea.com, River Moon Coffee, Ancient Life Oil, Sacred Skulls, New Mana Food Storage, and, of course, Bearing Optics. Bearing Optics was there at Contact in the Desert, and great CE5s that were going on, lots of UFO activity. I didn't get a chance. Rita and I were just bogged down, and if you were running around with Rita and myself, you saw what was going on, and I didn't get a chance to make it over to the CE5. And we had so many people coming over from the Night Watch with these amazing sightings that went on out at Contact in the Desert. And again, next year, Contact in the Desert, you're not going to want to miss it. It's absolutely amazing. Let's get this show cracking. Happy birthday to today, Mark Wahlberg. That's right. I did it. Is 47. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Yeah. But he was really good in the movie Rockstar, based on Rob Halford and what went down when he left Judas Priest. Zach Wilde's in the movie. Jeff Pilson is the bass player. Zach is the guitar player. And, man, I forget who plays drums in that band. Can't remember. But it's a really cool movie. And I have the feeling, I went and checked it. I think that's him doing the screams. Do you think it's really Marky Mark singing? That's the question. Happy birthday, Mark Wahlberg. On this day in history, 1969, 1968, Senator Robert Kennedy is shot several times by Sirhan at the Ambassador Hotel right here in Los Angeles after winning the California presidential primary. He died the next day. They tore down the Ambassador Hotel. It was there forever. And they tore it down a few years ago and built a high school. There is now a high school on the foundation of the Ambassador Hotel. Fader fact. Okay. All right. I'm going to take a sip of River Moon coffee before I whip this one out. You ready? Fader fact. Until 1948, 7-Up, the soft drink, contained lithium citrate. That's right. The mood stabilizer used to treat bipolar disorder. Some things you just can't make up. I would love to say that I just invented this, but I did not. That's right. Up until 1948, 7-Up contained lithium citrate. That's right. You take your lithium today? Didn't have to. I drank my 7-Up, and I feel great. Think about that. Absolutely nuts. Tonight, very special guest. Finally, author Laura Cantu is here. Tomorrow night is our big Contact in the Desert 2018 recap special. Thursday's another Fader night with open lines all night long. We're putting it together now, by the way. So I'm just going to say, we may have a very big announcement as well as a very special guest tied with that big announcement and taking your phone calls. So we're lining that up now. There you go. Okay? That's Thursday. Saturday, I'll be over at Coast to Coast AM. Sunday, I will be over at Coast to Coast AM. And Monday, I'll be right back here in the bunker with Fade to Black. Now, what I did want to briefly talk about, because I didn't want to waste too much on this tonight, and not waste, but reveal, I should say, too much of this tonight, because we're doing the Contact in the Desert special tomorrow. But a couple of things. I want to thank all of the Fadernauts from all around the country and all around the world that were there, that may be listening to me now. Some may be traveling back to the States and countries where they came from. But we met people from Sweden that came out to Contact in the Desert because of Fade to Black. Huge Fadernauts, and just talking to them. Chuck Fay, of course, was there from Hong Kong. We had Fadernauts from Britain, from Germany, from Canada, from Australia, from New Zealand. I could go on and on. Okay, South Africa, Dubai. It was when you have somebody come up to you from Dubai, that tells me that they are running on a VPN every night to make sure that they can listen to Fade to Black, and they want a T-shirt to take back and a photograph to take back to Dubai. How does that make you feel? It's very humbling. The conference, yes, it is indeed the biggest and best. It is a huge conference, but this year, even though the numbers were up, I mean, it was just, there's so many people. But the way that it's organized now at the Renaissance, you are able to, you're not going in between big buildings. And it's one big hall with all of these smaller rooms, not smaller. One of the rooms in the small building sat 950 people. I say 1,000, 950. Incredible, right? 3 sections of 300 each. Now, and that's just one. So they had multiple rooms like this all in a row. So every 2 hours, we would have 2,000 people walk past our booth with On Stellar and Stillness in the Storm and Modern Masters and Teresa Yanaris. We were all together. We had this huge setup, gorgeous. I want to thank everybody at Contact for giving us the absolute prime location. Right next to us was Giorgio Tsoukalos, his booth, and on the other side of us was James Gilliland. So it's just this huge, and the everybody would come out and walk by. And having that organization there, we were able to see everybody and shake hands and just talk all weekend long. It was so incredible. Now, yes, do we have stories? Yes. Do we have images? Yes. I shot some cool video, too, and I'll see if I can get that down. All right, so until tomorrow night, we will do the Contact in the Desert recap show. I am your host, Jimmy Church. I'm going to get out of here so I can get right to our guest tonight, author Laura Cantu. This is Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. Unbelievable weekend. We are back. Stay with me.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
What can I say about the most popular tea on the internet? And what do customers say about Life Change Tea at getthetea.com? A lot. But by federal law, we at getthetea.com cannot make claims to how this product can enhance your health. We cannot even post our testimonies without being in compliance. So how do we get past the hump? Try our products at getthetea.com and see for yourself. You can send us a testimony, but we just can't post it. Bummer. Our products are GMO-free and organic. We pride ourselves in being the best we can be, and we urge you to take charge of your health. We're 11 years strong, and many of our customers have shared their successes with friends and family. Protect your colon. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Getthetea.com. Getthetea.com.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the planet.
Win big with KGRA this summer. Tickets and hotel accommodations to the biggest conferences, autographed books and DVDs, chances to win all-inclusive conference cruises, and private dinners with your favorite KGRA hosts. Click the contest tab at kgraradio.com for your chance to win big this summer. Your contact for the best alternative talk radio on the planet. kgraradio.com.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
All right, welcome back, Fade to Black. We're back. I know, it's not Monday, it's Tuesday. We were on the road yesterday getting back to Los Angeles. An amazing weekend. And the energy just kept us going. All of you Fadernauts walking around, contact in the desert. Every turn, everywhere was another Fade to Black shirt. It was just incredible. Incredible. But we're back, and tonight our guest is Laura Cantu. She is an author, and some of her books include Betwixters, Once Upon a Time, Xandria Drake, Ancient Rising, Viktor LaFontaine, Beautiful Games, Old Grum's Tales. Old Grum's Tales. Is it all? I wanted to ask Laura that, by the way, because I see old. One Barmy Beetle, and co-author of The Wanderer's Handbook. And she's also a professional dancer. Laura won 6 national titles and placed 4th in the professional Argentine Tango World Championships. No joke. Her artwork has toured the world, and her first novel won a Goodreads Book of the Month award. She earned her master's degree in Oriental Medicine in 2012, and she's currently working on the Wanderer's Handbook and the Vathylite Realms series. Her website is lauraccantu.com, and I would like to welcome for the first time to Fade to Black, Laura Cantu. Laura, good evening.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Now, Laura, okay. Oh, wait. First things first. You get the first-time guest disclaimer.
Okay.
Are you ready? She's nervous. She's nervous. Don't be nervous. It's just you and I, Laura, sitting on my couch having a conversation as friends. Where the conversation starts, it starts. Where it ends, it ends. But we're going to end as friends. You ready?
I am.
See, that wasn't so bad.
It wasn't.
No, I should rewrite it a little bit. to
no,
freak
it's a good
out.
picture.
Yeah, it is because that's really what goes down here. But you've got the C in Laura C. Cantu. Is it to keep you separated from all the other Laura Cantus running around the world, the other Tango professional award-winning dancers? I mean, you got the C in there, right?
It's because someone has the domain name Laura Cantu from 15 years ago, and I can't get a hold of it.
I know. I knew. It's so funny. You would think that you could get lauracantu.com.
I know.
and it's still kind of active, right? Coming soon.
Well, it's someone using it for email, apparently.
Oh, that's just not right.
No.
Have you met her?
No, I've contacted them several times and said, hey, would you be willing to sell this to me or let it go? And they say no. So.
Oh, man, that's just not right. The JimmyChurch.com is owned by a great rhythm and blues musician, Jimmy Church. He's amazing, right? Mm-hmm. And I talked to him like 20 years ago about all of this. And but yeah, so there you go. Well, okay. So we tried to figure out a way. So we just added radio, JimmyChurchRadio.com if you want to play that game. But he's amazing. He's amazing, and he was first, and he's older, and I respect all of that. But I was pretty upset, I got to admit. Everybody wants their own domain, But welcome to the program. And I've got so many areas, so many ways that we can start this off. And I know what I want to do first. But I want to say this. Meeting you at Conscious Life, you are very bright, very awake. Your eyes are right there. You're bubbly, smart. You've got a ton of energy. And I just want to thank you for everything that you do. That's where I want to start off here. It was great hanging out with you all weekend.
Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. And I loved hanging out with you too. It felt like meeting an old friend again.
And it was kind of weird too. We don't have to say how or why, but it was also quite by accident. I mean, but all things happen for a reason, right? Okay, but it was a great weekend, and we got a chance to hang out and meet each other and figure each other out, and here you are tonight. But this is where I want to start.
Okay.
I like everybody else from my generation, not this generation, but my generation. I'm probably a lot older than yourself, but my generation grew up with Lord of the Rings. That's it, right? We all read the trilogy, and we would sit around at the age of 14, 15, 16 and discuss what part of the books we were at, and we were trying to figure out where things were going. And that set a stage and a standard for everything else that I would read in the genre for years to come. But it also, I'm assuming, did the same thing for you. And is that what introduced you to your world?
No, it's not. I have never read that series, and I stay away from it on purpose because I don't want to steal any information from it.
Now, I knew that was the answer. Okay. And this is why. Okay? This is why. When I would read other books, right, other series, and they were good. I'm not going to say the names right now, but I would go, right? Right? It's just like, and it's good, and I understand the attempt, and I understand the respect of what's going on here, but I felt like I was reading a watered-down version of Lord of the Rings, right? Okay,
yeah.
So yours is not that. It's completely from a fresh area.
Yes, it actually... I did not realize this, but my entire life I've been gathering information for this book through different experiences and my thoughts. And then one day I was in the shower, and it's like all of these great big puzzle pieces just came together. And I did not even want to write it. And I kept being pushed, write this book. You got to get this story out. You have to do this. And I was like, no, I'm a dancer. I'm not a writer. But I finally gave into it and started writing, and now it's turning into a great big series, and not even just a series, but a whole collection, because there's the Betwixters series, and then there's going to be sister series on top of that the stories can't be told in the same way, and they're meant for different audiences, but they operate within the same universe.
This and when it comes to fantasy and sci-fi fantasy, no matter how it's what it's based upon, there's always an audience for that. You look at the success of something like Game of Thrones, for instance, and there's a lot of shows before and after Game of Thrones. It's certainly not the only thing, but there's always an audience for that, and in any age group.
Yes, and Betwixters, I've navigated that series mainly to be for kids. The first book starts with like middle grade children, and it's going to work its way up until like they could read the series and go through high school with it. And then like one of my other sister series is more for young adults / adults. And then I have the old Grum series, which is for like the little toddlers and the little kids. And
I understand the middle grade tie-in with that, but anybody can read this book or read the books. Somebody that is my age or older is going to enjoy it just as much, just like Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is written for that same age group, and everybody reads Lord of the Rings. And you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. I think everybody would enjoy the books.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had emails from people who are 72 years old asking me, what else I know about the fairies and telling me their experiences of the fairies. And yeah, I've had really amazing experiences with all different kinds of age groups.
Now, okay. Have you had, I've been waiting for the fairies talk all day with you. Okay. Have you had a fairy experience of your own?
Yes, actually, and this is the first time I've admitted it publicly.
I have a way of doing that, Laura. So we're going to do this for the rest of the night. But please tell me about it.
Well, there's actually been a little gnome and a little fairy, so it's not just one or the other. But they're the ones that anytime I have a question about how their realms work and what's going on, they're the ones that give me the information. And apparently there's the fairies that most people talk to, and they kind of exist on that verge of the human realm. But the fairies and the beings that I'm speaking with are not the same kind. They exist on a further away, and they're just now starting to come into our realms for the first time in thousands of years.
Okay, now tell me about your experience.
They would come and move things around my house, and I couldn't find things and just try to get my attention. And I would see them out of the corner of my eye, and then I would get these ideas in my head that were like, okay, well, where did that come from? And then I started talking to them out loud, and I'm like, hey, what's going on here? Who are you? And then I would get what I would consider telepathic communications, because it was like packets of full understanding would come to me whenever I would ask questions. And then in my dreams, I would literally go out of my body, and someone would escort me to their realm to show me around.
Now, the first time that this happens, are you thinking this is not happening? Were you questioning yourself?
Absolutely. I thought it was my imagination. And then they started, it was a lot of dream work at first, and I got to learn the different kinds of dreams I would have, whether it's lucid dreaming, regular dreaming, out-of-body experiences. And then some of the experiences I've had are just as real as when I log into this body and have experiences in this body.
What go ahead.
Like I can feel it, I can touch it, I can smell it. And the first time that ever happened to me, I freaked out. I was like, what am I doing here and how do I get back home?
What did they look like?
Well, there is this one being that's kind of like a tree creature where it's like if you can imagine this large, tall stick that can just come out of the tree. That's one type of being that I've seen. And it kind of goes around and just looks around. It doesn't communicate very much. It just kind of observes. And then the fairies that I've been working with, they can change their sizes and shapes. So I've seen different appearances of them. They're not always the same. I attribute them to being fairies because that's kind of the energetic feel I feel for it. But it's not like what you read in the storybooks.
I agree with that, except I saw a photograph that was taken up at ECETI, and it was in the air, it was flying, and this photograph is literally small, about the size of like a softball, like a grapefruit, blue orb with a fairy in the inside of it with wings, and just like what you have always seen in illustrations. It was unbelievable to see it. And this person that took the picture was just photographing a tree, some scenery, and went back and looked at the picture, and there it was. And I saw it myself, and you just sit there and you enlarge it, and it is exactly as what your imagination is painting for you. It's incredible to see.
Yeah, and I think that they can appear in ways that they want to appear to us so that we can recognize their energies and who they are. And then I think there's also deeper levels of them that they can show you.
The movement of objects. Okay. Now, I want your experience here, because when I did mine, I was warned. This is up at ECETI, and you're going to be there in August. I can't wait for that. And you will be able to go and experience all of this for yourself. I was warned, your keys are going to disappear. You're going to lose something. And, just be nice to the fairies and ask for it to be returned. And they will do that. And I was literally arms across my chest, rolling my eyes, oh, come on. Do I really? Right. And sure enough, and you know what? I shouldn't have done that. I'm sure the fairies saw me roll my eyes. So I was like victim number one. I was on the top of the list. But I ended up losing a ring that fell off my hand. And the next morning, a ring that, by the way, I think I might have shown it to you at Conscious Life Expo, right? The ring that you can't remove. And the next day, Rita made me, talk to the fairy gods. And I got it back like 5 or 10 minutes later on a 50-acre ranch. It could have been anywhere. But anyway, so that's my experience. And for you were just saying that things started to move around. Tell me about that.
Yeah, like you said, I'd put my car keys somewhere, and then I know that I put them there, and then I go to get them, and they were gone. Or even like recently, I've been having trouble with my alarm system where it won't work, and then I'll be like, okay, I really need this to work for me, and then all of a sudden it comes back on, and it's like system armed, or it's that kind of stuff pretty much all the time.
It's I think it's okay. And it took me, what I mean by that, it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to admit to this. I was, I don't know if reticent is the right word, but I like to think that I'm a big tough guy. I'm the man of the house. I don't need to be walking around and talking about fairies. But when it happens to you, you just, that's it. I really don't care. I don't give a blank what people think. My experience was my experience, and I'm not going to change that, which goes back to your writing and also the mythology and the folklore that has been written and talked about for hundreds and hundreds of years. And now we have to kind of go back and like actually consider that maybe this wasn't fiction.
Right. Yes. And with my fairies, like I said, there's two different kinds. There's the kind, like supposedly there was some kind of event a really long time ago where all of our realms, like I have various realms in my world, but all of these realms were cooperative and worked together. And then something happened that split everything apart. And when that happened, some creatures or some beings got stuck in the fringes. And apparently the fairies that have been interacting with humans are some of those that were stuck in the fringes. But there's a whole nother kind that got pushed away, even further away, that have had no human contact at all.
And there's another aspect. I want to touch upon this before we get to the top of the hour, because I would like to talk about this more when we come back. But that's, Joseph Campbell, the hero's journey. With your writing style, did you approach it as the hero's journey because that's what's there? Or was that quite by accident just because you're a talented writer and it was going to happen that way anyway?
I actually did. I have every book planned out from start to finish. And I'm still actually gathering more pieces for some of them because I'm not able to publish the books until I get the go-ahead that everything is good in it and ready.
Well, okay. But again, applying the hero's journey to your approach, it is what has, developed into a very positive, successful writing style where you have the beginning, middle, and end, and for you, it's there in each book. Was Joseph Campbell somebody that you had read in the past?
I did. I read The Hero's Journey. I researched how to write each book and how to plan the whole series. So the whole series is a hero's journey, and within the entire series, and each book is a hero's journey. And then I looked at how Hollywood movies are made with the start, beginning, and middle, beginning, middle, and end.
Right.
And I went through and delicately planned everything. And then I submitted my work to my press, and we have one of our editors was a top editor a senior editor for Penguin Books.
Right.
And she scrapped it and told me to half it and rewrite it. And I did like 7 rewrites of it until I finally learned how this actually works.
Now, yeah, I know, right? And how do you feel about that? It's a pretty humbling experience to do a volume like that and then turn around and have your editor go, yeah, you know what? You've got to, diamond in the rough. I get it, but rewrite it.
Right? Yes. I actually am excited when when an expert gives me their opinion. I'm really excited to come up to the challenge. So I was like, oh, yeah, I can see that. Let's make that in book 2 or book 3, and we'll push the information off. So I'm still going to use a lot of the information. Some of it will never, ever be seen. But yeah, I like challenges like that. Now,
and you've written a lot, but do you think that you're there yet, or is there still mountains to climb? For being a writer, successful author.
I think there's always room to grow.
Right.
I will never ever stop learning.
And now the other part is you wanted to focus on children and that demographic, and I think that's really exciting. But what made you choose to go that route?
Well, when I was little, I did see things, and I had really strange experiences, and I did not have anywhere to turn that would confirm that what I was seeing or experiencing or feeling was real. And I didn't get to talk about it. My family would support me, but outside of that, it's like, oh, let's, and something intuitively inside me said, don't talk about this, and I think there's a time the time is coming where we need to start living from our hearts and living from our truths. And I want to support the children in being able to not just recognize that there's other dimensions and other realities that exist, but to support them in knowing their truth and how they can connect with who they are through these journeys.
Is it easier as an adult to write in the eyes of a child?
Oh, well, I never really grew up.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, so I see kids I have kids come to my house all the time, and they do things, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's fine. I used to do that when I was a kid, and I'm like, I want to do that again.
It's the best part. And if you, for me, the way that somebody like Steven Spielberg and others, but, he'll make a film through, a child's eyes. And for us as adults, we get to relive those experiences, wish we had a time machine and able to go back to those days. But that's exactly what you do, and that's what I get out of your stuff.
Yes, I do. And I tried to make, like a long time ago, at least when I was little, I say that's a long time ago, there were stories like the Goonies and Explorers and things that were really wholesome and fun and not too heavy. And today's fiction, there's so much stress involved that I wanted to create something that brings the joy and the magic back to let kids be kids.
Let's now we're going to talk about Betwixters when we come back. Tell us about the story itself, and then we'll jump into the book a little bit deeper when we get back.
The story is about 3 kids who live next to a mystical forest where the veils are thinning, and they get chased into the forest by a bully, and while they're there, they happen upon a fairy. And this fairy had no clue that humans existed. She'd read about them in her human tale scrolls, but she thought that was just folklore. So it's kind of about them learning to trust each other and work with each other to help her get back home before she dies and before they get caught by some evil forces.
Right. And us humans were the bad guys.
Yes, a long time ago we were.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was scared. I mean, because she had been told these stories over and over again. I could see the life lessons, right, painting themselves, right, for us. You just don't trust what you've been told necessarily. You've got to go and meet people and meet others and accept them for who they are.
Yes, and that goes even into judging things that you would consider are very negative energies. There's light in everything.
That's exactly right. And then there's one other part. I've got to take a break right here. But bullying, you go straight on.
Yes. My twin sister, I have a twin. She's a counselor and has been counseling children for 20 years now. And it's one of the major problems that the kids face today. It's not just physical bullying, but cyberbullying. And it's not just the kids that face it. It's also adults. Where so many of us get stuffed into not believing in ourselves and not being able to express who we truly are because we're afraid of what someone else might think because of we've been permitted to judge other people, condemn them, and put them down.
You would think with all of the talk in national media and in different towns and cities across this country about bullying that it would be curtailed, stopped, and those bullies would be embarrassed and called out. And it doesn't seem to have changed. What do you think we have to do to get this addressed?
I think they're not getting to the root of the problem. I think that the bully, a lot of times, everybody's looking for help and everybody's in pain. And I have the belief that everybody acts to the best of their ability at all times. And if they don't know themselves and know what the best of that ability is, they're never going to get to express it.
Can you imagine? We're going to take a break right here. But so many successful and respected people out there that they rose above it, but that were bullied when they were younger, and it's going on today, and how we are suppressing some of the great creativity and knowledge because of it. Thank you, Laura. We'll be right back. This is Laura Cantu. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. More with Laura right after this short break. Stay with us.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station. Salt Lake City, Utah. Van Buren, Arkansas.
Does your basement or crawl space have a damp, musty smell? Well, watch out! That's a sign of too much moisture and not enough ventilation. And that can mean increased mold growth and the buildup of harmful toxins and gases. Don't bother with a dehumidifier. It just circulates the same unhealthy air. Now there's a better way to remove these dangers and odors. It's with the computerized Wave Moisture Control Unit that reduces moisture and expels pollutants.
We replaced our old dehumidifier with the Wave unit, and in only 3 weeks, our basement is dry and the musty smell is gone.
Wave units require no maintenance, no buckets of water or filters, and costs only pennies a day to run. Breathe better, live healthier with an affordable, no-maintenance Wave unit. Call 888-717-WAVE, 888-717-WAVE, or visit dryhealthyhome.com. Dryhealthyhome.com.
Ride the wave. Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Hello, I'm Katie and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And this is Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
Yes.
We are of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. It's Tuesday. We're back from Contact in the Desert. Our guest tonight, author Laura Cantu. We're talking about Betwixters. And it's Once Upon a Time. And we were talking about bullying right before the break, Laura. And it took me back to a memory. I'm just going to share the 15-second version of this. But in sixth grade, and this would have been like 1973, I had a friend. His name was, I'll say it on the air, his name was Paul Jackson. And a little guy, cool, just really, really cool kid. And he had long hair. Well, anyway, I walked through into the stairwell to go down for lunch. And he was cornered by 3 or 4 guys, and there was some pushing and just some that. And I stepped in, and it got ugly. But my blood boiled when I saw this going down, and I stepped in, and I'm not going to say what happened, but it wasn't pleasant. I'll say that. But they left Paul alone for forever after that, especially if I was walking around. But Paul had told me privately, he said, man, this has been going on for a long time, man. And now I can walk around and I feel so much better. And to think about what it must be like for some of these kids to walk around with this pressure is nuts. It's nuts to me. And now I'm a parent, and I just don't tolerate. It's something that just cannot go on. And you're absolutely right. It's maybe in some regards we've given way too much freedom And maybe there needs to be some repression going on with parenting, but I don't know what the answers are, but I feel for anybody that is being bullied. It's just not the way it's being tortured, and it's not cool.
And it's not fun for either party. It's not, I mean, it may seem like it's fun for the bullies at the time, but anytime you hurt someone else, you're actually hurting yourself. And all of that comes from deep pain of not understanding who you are. And one of the things we don't teach our kids is how to think critically or think from a place of how to make their own decisions and not buy into what's being forced down their throats.
Yeah, because they think it's cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's it's unbelievable to me. Now, this let's take things a step further. The book also talks about another world, an alternative world, another dimension, something else that is going on. This fairy leaves that world, but you write about it. I believe there are parallel worlds. I think there is another dimension out there, isn't there?
Absolutely. I definitely believe in it. Absolutely. I've been to one, and it was, like I said, it's scary to go there because you don't know if you're ever going to get to come home.
What happened?
Okay, so I'll tell you about one instance that is the most recent one.
Oh, I want to hear about them all. We'll start here and go backwards.
Okay, so there was this big noise that was over my house, and it sounded like a jet over my house. And I had a friend over, and we couldn't find out where it was coming from. We went all over the neighborhood to find out where is this huge noise coming from, and it was only over my house. And it was there the entire day, and we didn't even think to put it on, record it on our phones or anything. It wasn't. It was just a really strange thing. And it stayed there all day. She left. I went to bed, and I was like, wow, how am I going to sleep with this big noise over my house? And you know how like people have these noise machines and they tune into the noise to help them fall asleep?
That's right.
I did that. That was the only way I was going to sleep that night. And the next thing I know, I'm in this room with this blue glow coming out of my bedroom window, and I get up, and I'm looking at the earth, and there's like this rock landscape all around me, and I can see the earth, and I'm just like, I cussed a lot. Right. I was like, what the?
Right.
It's like a monkey bouncing around a room, And then all of a sudden I blacked out. And then the next thing I know, I wake up in my bed again, and everything seems normal. And I get up, and I was like, oh my gosh, that was the weirdest thing ever. And I look out my back window, and it's not the same yard that I have on this world. And I was like, oh my gosh, where am I? I freaked out again. I'm like, what the is going on? So I went and got my cell phone. I did not know how to operate my cell phone. I couldn't get it to turn on. I couldn't get it to do anything. And then I raced down the stairs, and it's the same layout of the house, but there's things that are slightly different, different colors here, different things there. I go out into my garage, and there's a black Jeep in my garage, and there's no one home. There's no one with me, and I just need to speak with someone to find out what's going on. So I got into my Jeep, and everything was automated. I got into the Jeep, and it drove me to this place that was like a police station, but it was called a civil service station. And I got out of the car, and I went inside, and I'm like, I need your help. I don't know what's going on here. I need my mom and my sister. I need to talk to them right now. And this little girl, I mean, not a little girl, she was a lady, but she was like probably 4.5 feet to 5 feet tall. She was like, do you need mental services? And I was like, no, I don't need mental services. I need to find out what's going on. And they said, well, go back to your office. And I'm like, I work here? What are you talking about?
Oh, man.
Yeah. So they ushered me back to the office, and I waited there. And then she came back in, and she's like, okay, go out to the car, and you'll get all the answers you need. So I walked out to my car, And one of my girlfriends was there, and my husband was there, but I don't think we were married on that alternative reality. And they said, okay, we got this. They took me. They had to make a stop first at this school. And what I noticed when I was there is the emotions there were not nearly as deep as what we have here. And my first thought was, oh my gosh, Betwixters would never work here. They've already got it all figured out.
Right.
And the other thing I knew is that my mom and sister weren't there, and I would never see them again. And I did not want to get stuck there, and I had no clue how to get back. It's not like you can push a button or, So we got into the Jeep. Again, we drove to my friend's house, and all these cats started coming up, and one crawled into my lap, and then this plastic sheet that I can't explain, that I didn't see it before, all of a sudden came on, and the cat was communicating through this plastic sheet, and it says, I've seen you before. And with that came a complete understanding that I was in a parallel dimension, and I had a choice, and I was like, I want to go back. So as soon as that happened, I woke up in my bed. I called my friend, the one that was over there, and she talked me through it and calmed me down. It took me like 2 hours because I was so panicked. And then I was afraid to go back to sleep. And then she was like, well, now you know how to get back. So I did go back to sleep. I ended up over there again.
Really?
I did, yes.
Okay, keep going. I'm imagining the TV show Fringe.
I've never seen that show.
Well, okay, but again, parallel worlds, right? There are versions of you and everybody that you know, but it's just a little bit different. Everybody's just a little, Okay, so continue. So now you go back.
I go back, and by this time I'm laying on a couch, and my friend bumps my husband's shoulders and says, she's back. And I was like, hold on, I understand what's going on now. I'm not from this timeline. I'm not from this earth. I'm from another one. And they're like, we know. They were like, this is really rare, but sometimes it happens. But we know about this. We're educated about this. So they started telling me the difference between their world and my world. And apparently, my assumption is, I don't know how it happened, but maybe my parallel life over there and my consciousness here, they switched, I think, possibly. And then whenever I got back here to this world, I got up the next day and all of my doors were open, all of my TVs were on, and then I found a message to myself on my phone telling me all these spiritual truths, and I was like, oh my gosh, that happened.
What? Did you save it?
I did, yes.
Oh, that is too... Now, okay, I just said that is too cool. I think it's amazing, but it also sounds a little scary. Was it cool for you?
It was really, really scary when it happened. And I was sick for probably 2 weeks after that. It was really hard to go through. And my friends, the one I told you that I called, helped me out and helped me to process it. But after I wrapped my mind about what was going on, I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, okay, good. I had a similar experience, well, I've had two of them. One was, and I'm going to share this with you. The audience has heard the story a few times, so I'm going to give the abridged version. I'm driving in my car down a street that I had in Indianapolis on the east side that I'd driven down hundreds of times. Right, this is my neighborhood. I'm driving through these trees. I lived in an apartment in downtown Los Angeles, downtown Indianapolis. And I'd driven to the east side on a Sunday afternoon, and I'm driving down the street, and to my left, as I'm driving, I see this house for rent, little tiny house, and it had an in-ground pool in the front yard with a little white picket fence around it. And it said for rent. I was like, holy crap, that's where I'm living this summer, right? Okay, I'm going to rent this. And I turn my car around and I go back. I walk onto the property. I looked in the front window. I check it out. It's like it's for me. But I looked to it doesn't matter, to my left, and there's a little graveyard, like a family plot. And my memory says 5 or 6 gravestones there. And I looked at the house and I went, well, I could deal with that, I guess. Right? The house is too cool. It's a little tiny house with a built-in pool. And I'm picturing me and my friends out here all summer long having a great time, So I go back and I gather up my friends and I go, you got to see this house. It's cool. It's for rent. It's got an in-ground pool and it's a little tiny. It's perfect. We drove back and it's not there.
Whoa.
Yeah. We drove up and my friends are like, Church, man, what's up? I'm like, man, I'm telling it was right here. and we drive around and maybe it's on this other street, which I knew it wasn't because the other street didn't have trees. This street had, it's the only street with trees, I might add. And we drove up and down and it wasn't there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know. You start to think you're crazy when you experience these things. And then I think I'm really lucky because I have friends that have really amazing psychic abilities and things. And I get confirmation from them, that they can just see me and say, hold on, you've been out of space and time. And I'm like, I know, that's why I'm coming to you.
Yeah, and this is what is so great, not only about this show, but how we met and going to conferences with people that are awake, where you can share these stories, right? You and I are trading back and forth here, going, yeah, right?
Yeah.
And this because I never shared this stuff with anybody, for decades until I came on Fade to Black. Now I don't care. I'm just letting it all hang out because it really happened. This was an experience that really happened, and I still to this day can't explain it. And the other thing that happened, I was listening to your Jeep experience, right? You get out, you get in your Jeep, and you're driving, and things aren't right. In Pasadena, I drive across the street from my house, across the street from my house, taking a shortcut. I drive up on the street. It's called Elizabeth. And I drive on Elizabeth, and I'm just trying to, cut through to get to the other side of Pasadena and pop out. And I make a left turn, a right turn, a left turn, and I don't get out of the neighborhood. And I got stuck in there. I almost ran out of gas, Laura. And I'm just trying to get to the sunlight. I'm trying to get out of I'm just trying to get to. It was just crazy. Finally, I did, and I never made it to where I was going. I just wanted to get back home. And I finally did, and I parked my car, and I walked in, and my friends were like, hey, man, what's wrong, man? And I was shaking. I was so happy to get back home, but I got stuck across the street from my house.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing? Especially that feeling of getting back home, because it's like, it's so unfamiliar, and you don't know if you're ever going to find your way back to normal ever again.
I was panicked. That panic attack thing.
Yes.
How many left turns can I make? Right? It was crazy. But so back to your experience. So at the time I was panicked. At the time I was scared. At the time it was weird, like the disappearing house, right? It's scary. I look back now and it was a really, really cool thing. I don't know how to get back there or how to do it, but at the time it was scary. I look back now and wow, I'm glad that it happened.
Yes, and I suspect that it happens to a lot of people, but our brains might not be able to handle the memory of it anymore.
Why is that? Yeah, I know. Why is that?
I think it's because we have a set belief system, and sometimes when some of our belief systems are challenged too much, then we can break from it. And our brain and our body and it works hard to make sure we stay alive and stay whole.
What is it like? Yes. And what is it like when the readers of your books or come up and share their experiences with you? What is that like?
Oh, it's amazing. I love it because like I even have people that argue with me about how fairies are. And I'm like, yeah, I agree with you that those fairies are like that, but there's another set of fairies that's not, but I love hearing their stories, and I love hearing how they experience the other realms themselves. I get a lot of that, actually.
Okay. Not all fairies are cute.
Not the ones that have been interacting with humans for, that have been living on the fringes. The ones that have been living away from humans and staying pure to their true form, they don't have a lot of the same emotional upheavals that we have.
I'm reminded of the movie Labyrinth with Jennifer Connelly and David Bowie. And Jennifer walks up. She sees these fairies, and they're beautiful, and they're small, and they're cute. And she goes, "Oh, fairies." And one lands on her hand, and she looks, "Oh, you're so cute." And she gets bit. Ow! and she's told right then, fairies aren't what you think.
Right. Those are the ones that have been broken, I should say.
And what do you mean broken?
So their original form was pure, and then when this, I said, like, according to what I've been told, thousands of years ago, something broke, and when that broke, that's when duality and the light and the dark started expressing itself in different ways.
Right. And how populated is it in that, from what you've been told, is it like our world? Are there millions of fairies and fairy cities and fairy schools and colleges and a lifestyle in their world?
Yeah, but it's not quite the same as ours. It's more intuitive, and they don't have the same thinking processes that we have. Although in Betwixters, I give them thinking processes because they would be too foreign that humans would not be able to identify with them. So I have to give them personalities. I have to give them thoughts that we can connect with to introduce how foreign their thoughts are.
And what about the lay of the land? Is it in their world? Is it still the United States and Europe and Africa and South America? Is all of that the same?
Now, I've seen two different versions of this. One of them is the one I'm currently working with on this earth, that it's superimposed on ours, and it's a adjustment in frequency to get there, and it's superimposed on top of us, but they don't have the buildings and all of the things that we have here. Theirs is still a pure natural state. And then the other one that I saw, here's another story for you if you want to hear it. But I've had two of my other parallel lives die. And the first one that died, the consciousness of it split, and part of it came to my life here. And then I got to trace the other one to another world that was like a fairy world, an elven world over there. But it's not the same timeline that we're on here.
When that split happened, did you get some of those memories?
I got more of the knowledge and the wisdom than, it's like, how people have reincarnation ideas that they learn things from certain lifetimes, but they're not permitted to know how they know it. I got new knowledge, but I didn't get specific memories of, hey, I was driving in this car, or hey, I lived on another planet.
Are you gonna write a book about this?
I might. I'm actually surprised at myself for talking about it. But you're like a friend. It's awesome.
I'll help you with it if you need my help. But this is information that others need to know about, and especially if they're having these experiences and they're confused or they're wondering about their own sanity. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do know what you mean. I've been there.
Right. I mean, how would if I went through those experiences and I pick up a book and I start reading about it, And I'm able to draw the parallels and go, wow, okay, it's not me. This is just how it is. Well, you're reaffirming.
Yes. And actually, to answer your question, my friend Christine Contini and I we have created a website called the Wonders Handbook, where we're going to be discussing and revealing our experiences on there and our lessons from them and how we process them and how other people can start remembering their own experiences and creating these kinds of experiences in their own worlds.
Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about soul tech. We're going to talk about teaching and how to get all of this done. And we're going to do that when we come back. Teaching is one of the best parts for this, for our community. What do you get out of that?
What do I get out of teaching?
Yes.
I get to share the love that I have for this planet and all the beings on this planet. I love being here. I've had the choice of being on so many other places and in so many other times, and this is exactly where I want to be. And I believe in the human race, and I'm getting chills just thinking about how much hope I have for this planet.
Have you thought about now that you've had your life's experiences, you know what is out there, what options are out there. When you're walking down the street, you never know who may be from the other side.
I know from at least in my own heart, I believe that there's light in every single being that's here, that's participating in this universe. And our world reflects what's on the inside of us. And if we can help people to understand and resonate with the light, then all of the beings are not going to have a choice but to come with us or fall away.
What do you think would happen if some live broadcast is going on, some situation, and then a fairy flies in, and just lands and goes, okay, what's up?
I think that would be hilarious.
I know, right?
I would love that.
And how do you think the world would handle that? I mean, we had the ET question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's address the fairy question for a second.
I think that there's a lot of people that would be fractured, and a lot of people would deny that it was actually real, because we are just now starting to learn what false belief systems are, how to identify them, and how to break them down. And most of us are so ingrained in it that even if we saw it with our own eyes, we would not be able to actually see it.
I was in denial, I'll admit it, but I was very happy that it happened, and I really enjoyed the experience. I really did. Although I didn't see it, I didn't see a fairy remove my ring. I don't know what I would have done if that would happen. But I'm okay with it. And yeah. I'm wondering, you're suggesting fractured. I could see that. There would certainly be those out there that would say no. But I think the majority would be okay with it, because we've had the books, we've had the stories, we've had the folklore forever. Maybe it would be a smoother transition.
Yeah, I agree that, whenever you actually face something, when you hear it in a story, it's one thing. But whenever you actually experience it, there's this panic. Like you've already said, you panicked. I panicked. There's this initial fear that is instilled within us. But as long as we keep shining the light, and the universal conscious mind that's swaying the entire world in the direction that it's going, if we can get more understanding into that so that it's downloaded into more people, then I think the transition will be a lot smoother, and it's getting there. So today, people accepting fairies would be a lot easier than earlier in time.
I could see it now on CNN. Anderson Cooper. Breaking news. When I come back, fairies are here. This is Fade to Black. Our guest tonight, author Laura C. Cantu. We're talking about her book, Betwixters, Once Upon a Time. When we come back, we're going to talk about soul tech. Stay with us.
way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously, go Beckley Tappy.
Do you worry a lot? Whether you're a college student, busy professional, parent, or grandparent, ongoing stress and elevated levels of the stress hormone cortisol can rob your memory, your health, and your future. Now you can combat the effects of stress and anxiety while improving your memory and recall at the same time with the dietary supplement Calm and Clever. Studies show that the ingredients in Calm and Clever reduce cortisol by as much as 30% in 1 to 2 weeks. Call 1-800-758-8746 or calmandclever.com.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. It is Tuesday, but this is the start of our week. Tonight, it is author Laura Cantu. She's with us, talking about her book, Betwixters. We're going to talk about Soul Tech right now. And tomorrow night, we're going to do our Contact in the Desert recap show. This is our annual special that we do every single year. We've got hundreds of photographs and images from all of you that we will be sharing tomorrow night, and a bunch of stories, and maybe even take some phone calls. Thursday night is another Fader night, but we may have a very special announcement and guest. This is a big breaking news story that we're trying to tighten up and get ready for Thursday. I think it's going to happen. That's why I'm mentioning it now. And then Saturday and Sunday, Friday, I'm off. Saturday and Sunday, I am over at Coast to Coast AM, and so you're going to want to just continue the week with me over there. All right, so Laura, you and Christine will be up with us at Soul Tech at ESETI Ranch. Are you excited?
I am excited. It's going to be amazing.
I'm going to say this right now, okay? That whole parallel world thing that you're talking about, when you pull through the gates at ESETI, get ready. That is a magical place. And I say this every time I bring up ESETI. If I've got you're not on the fence, but if I have a friend on the fence, I'm taking him to ESETI. All questions answered.
This is going to be fun. I'm really excited to see like what happens, but I don't want to set my expectations too high either.
No, look, like I said, I want to bring the uninitiated there because it's a guarantee. It's a guarantee. Oh man, and it wasn't that I was fighting it. I knew what to expect when the sightings and Mount Adams right there and the Field of Dreams. I was ready for all of that. It was everything else. I mean, wow. I went there, and I went there a few times. And each time that had happened, I didn't know what's the word that I want to use here. I wasn't forcing it. I wasn't trying to do something. It came and got me and took me. It was bizarre. It was a bizarre experience to go through.
Yes, that's how it happens to me too. I don't seem to have a ton of control over when I get taken to go somewhere.
And I've had many people come up and they go, okay, man, what happened? What are you talking about? And my answer is, and I'm enjoying it too, because I can actually say this. It's my experience and I'm keeping it with me. That's it. That's it. You need to go and do it yourself. And you know what? You will say the same thing to the next person. So what happened, dude? Nah, man.
You just got to go.
Yeah, it's for me. Robert Schock one night on the show, this is years ago, he told us about the night that he spent the night in the King's Chamber in the Great Pyramid on Giza, slept in the sarcophagus by himself. Right?
Oh.
Right? And I'm like, oh, so what happened? He's like, no, man.
Whoa.
That's my experience. And now I fully understand. You know what? It's so personal and that's it. That's it. You need to just go and experience it for yourself. But you're going to love ECETI. So, what are you going to do?
We're going to teach 2 workshops. And I think one of them is going to be the first 2 days we're going to be there. We're going to teach 2 workshops. And the first one is going to be about death, different kinds of death, and how it can help you to change your life.
And, well, okay, death. That was dark. But, yeah. We're going to teach you about death. But yeah. No, but there's a lot of fear that is tied to this, and that is what you're going to talk about. You're going to talk about this side, the other side.
Yes, we are. We're going to talk about the other side, this side, other dimensions. So there's physical death, there's emotional death, there's energetic type of things. There's a point where you reach where you actually choose to die to who you were because you don't ever want to, you don't want to stay in the same situation you're in. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to die.
Why is it? Okay. I know that you're going to discuss this side of it, so let's talk about it. You are taught to fear death, right? I mean, but if we weren't taught to fear death from such a young age, then there wouldn't be a fear tied to it, right? This is something that we are taught. Certainly, if a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, they don't fear anything. All of these fears are taught to us from a very young age.
Yes, and I also think that the way the brain and the body and the instincts that the human body has, like we have our lizard brain still that works in fight, flight, or freeze,
right.
That also has something to do with it. And whenever you've had some kind of trauma or shock, that's another way to fear death.
Tell us about Christine really quick. Shall I tell everybody how I met Christine?
Sure.
Christine came up to me and said, I need to sit down. Can I sit down next to you? She was just on her feet. And so she sat down next to me and we just started talking. And what a dynamic woman. Unbelievable. And so as time went on, and then we started talking, you came up late. I don't think you were there when Christine and I met, right?
No, I was not there. I met you before that. And then I told Christine, I'm like, you need to go meet Jimmy. So she went, and then I came later.
Yeah, and it was all quite by accident. It was really, really cool. Tell us about Christine.
Christine is one of my very best friends, and she has died 3 times and come back to life, and each one of her deaths was for a different purpose.
Now, when you say, this is what you said to me too, by the way, right? You just came straight out, blah. Okay, she's died 3 times. Well, that's a, without saying, I don't want to sound, I don't want to make light of this. Dying 3 times is not only a big deal, but to come back and be able to share what that experience is. There's a reason for Christine being here with us today, and she's able to share all of that with us.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you've ever had a near-death experience, but in this last January, I kind of had a death of sorts. And Christine would always tell me, oh man, it was so hard for me to come back. I didn't want to come back, but then I was shown how I could help the world, so I decided to come back. And I was like, of course I would decide to come back. Who's crazy enough to choose to die? And then I had that happen to me, and I came back, and I was like, man, that was such a tough choice.
Right. I don't know if I have, but my brush with it was something that I enjoyed. In a weird way, I was in the hospital, and when I checked in, when they came in and said, okay, you're not going to leave, we need to keep you here, I freaked out and passed out. Okay, I was at the edge. I was very, very sick. I was 20 years old. I was very, very sick. And I didn't know what was going on with me. But when the doctor said, you're not leaving today, you're going to stay with us, I passed out. I woke up 4 days later, okay? And when I woke up on the 4th day, I had a priest with a friggin' Bible next to my bed. And my eyes popped open, and I see him, and he freaks out. Whoa. And he goes running out. I'm like, what's going on? Where am I? I didn't remember anything. But let's go back to, I found out later what had happened to me over those 4 days. But what happened to me, forget about what the doctors were experiencing and what the hospital was experiencing with me. But what I went through was 4 days of bliss. I was in a place that I was writing music. I was in this big black room that had a table with blank sheet music, and I'm just writing music out and listening to it as I write it. And I did that. Well, I didn't know it was 4 days, but it was an unbelievably wonderful experience. And I was in the hospital for 30 days, right? And I tried each night to get back. I did. I closed my eyes maybe tonight's the night, man. I need to go back there. I never experienced it again, but it was wonderful. That's the only way I can explain it. Wonderful. I was so sick. I was so ill. I was in so much pain. But for those 4 days, I was right where I wanted to be. It was pretty wonderful.
Did you ever find out if you were in a coma or if you had a death?
Although I like sharing personal experiences here on the air, that was the medical side of it and stuff. I'm going to keep private.
That's cool.
But I will say that it scares me. Okay, so to talk about it, to relive the experience, because one of the nurses, after about a week, I got to know her. Her name was Tiny, by the way. She was cool. She comes in, and what they would do, I was a young guy on a floor full of, I'm young. I'm 20 years old. And so I was a different sort of patient for them. And we would hang out. And so I would get hungry in the middle of the night. So she would go down and get me these wonderful dinners from the cafeteria. And come up, and I'm talking, steak and potatoes at 3 a.m. And so anyway, one of these nights she goes, okay, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but you scared us for those 4 days. And I said, what are you talking about? She goes, you came and went. I was like, what are you talking about? Mm-hmm. And she goes, really, that's all I can say. But your temperature was going up to 106 and then going down to 92 in an hour. And I was like, wow, really? I didn't even know what that meant. But I could see with her, she was freaked out, and they didn't know what was going on. So anyway, all I know is for that 4 days, I was cool. Man. And I tried every night just to close my eyes and tried to go back to that place, and it never happened.
Yeah, and imagine if you had a choice while you were there, if you wanted to come back here or not.
I didn't. Yeah, people have asked me, by the way, Laura, I want to ask you, and I certainly want to talk to Christine about this. I didn't meet anybody.
I did not either. It was in my head, like a telepathic communication. It was like, will you go back? And I was like, do I have to? And then I was given the memory of, my mom and my sister and what I could do to help.
Did you see anybody?
No, as soon as I said yes, that I would go back, I recognized that I was at this place where there was light above me, and I was close to the light, but I was not allowed to go into the light. And whenever I was asked to make this question or to go back, I didn't want to because I knew how hard it was going to be. I would have to take up all my delusions again because in that moment, in that space, I could look at anything and know everything I ever wanted to know. And it was just, like you said, it was bliss and nothing at the same time. It was everything. And to have to put on my false beliefs, put on and go suffer, it was a very, very difficult decision to make.
I wasn't offered anything. My eyes just popped open.
Wow.
That's what happened to me. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't even know where I was. The whole hospital thing and, I don't know why I did. I don't. My eyes just popped open. And I know that the way that I surprised this priest or preacher, whatever, that was next to me with his Bible, he had to be a priest. He had the white collar on. That's a priest, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, shows you how religious I am.
Me too.
But he freaked. So I don't know how long he was sitting there in this quiet room. I was in there by myself at that time. And, but we scared each other. I was like, wow, he jumped, I jumped, and I had all of these IVs in me. I had like 2 in each arm. And so I was, I couldn't move because I had all these tubes. But the point being, I couldn't, like jump up and walk around or do anything like that. But certainly we scared each other. But there was nothing about, do you want to go back? That didn't happen. My eyes just popped open.
Well, one of the courses that we're going to have on our Wonders Handbook website is to teach people where people go when they die or in a coma. There's different places. One of them is like a living library where you go to learn new skills and, like you were talking about writing music or to learn a philosophy. Another place is a way station. And there's different places to go. So that's some of the things that we're going to talk about too.
And how do you in the Wanderer's Handbook, how do you retain those memories in the handbook? Things that you are shown and things that you are taught. I was writing music, and it was awesome, by the way, but it's gone, right? It's gone. I didn't retain any of that. Do you address that in the Wanderer's Handbook?
We will have a course on that too. absolutely. And it all has to do there's exercises and things to do that prepare you to be able to retain the information, because two people can have the same experience. One person will retain it, the other one won't. One person will get the choice, the other one won't. It's how prepared you are before the event happens.
I can't wait for the Awakening Day 1, for your class up at Soul Tech. One of the things that you are going to address, and you mentioned this a little bit earlier, you used the word monkey, right? Mm-hmm. Well, death of control, right? Release of the monkey mind so that you connect with your intuition.
Yes. One of the very first, there's tools that you can do and exercises you can do and they might seem really minor and boring when you start to do them, but you add it up and you add it up and you add it up. It's like, vitamin E. It builds on top of each other. It's fat soluble. So the more you take, the more it gets in your system till eventually you can overdose on it.
Right.
But these methods are the same thing. It seems small at first, but they do another exercise and another one and another one and another one. And it builds up till eventually you look at your life 6 months to a year later and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm a completely different person. I have these rich experiences now, and I would have never even recognized them back then.
It's funny how that works. And the reason is there are many out there that want instant gratification. They want changes in their life in 24 hours. It just doesn't work that way, does it?
It doesn't. And sometimes when you get those instant gratifications, it hurts you really badly. Like some of mine were that, and it would take months to recover from it physically.
Yeah, I have said many times, just be patient. Do the right thing. Do what you need to do. And then in 6 months, you're going to look back and go, wow, I can't even believe I lived like that.
Exactly. Yes, that's exactly what it's like. It's just taking the time. Okay, so a lot of people, like you said, they want to pop a pill. They want instant gratification. But a lot of people, I think, are afraid to look inside and find out what's there.
Yeah, well, okay. And another part of, we're going to talk about day 2 next after the break. But I love this, how to stop your brain from filling in the blanks and wait for the answers.
Yes, that's an observation exercise. And that's actually one way that you can tell what is your intuition versus imagination. Because your intuition, or when someone or something is communicating with you, it can surprise you. And with your imagination, you're actually building your world.
And this is how cool Laura is, everybody. She is going to teach you the monkey mind meditation.
Yeah, so we don't go around bouncing off the walls while we're trying to learn all of this.
And now, this is what I love about that. This is your mindset, right? To call this meditation the monkey mind meditation. Mm-hmm. You're a free form. You're an artist. You are an artist not only in the literal sense, or being a writer, but you're an animator and a 3D animator, and you're a dancer. You are an artist. You are free form, and that's why this is called the monkey mind meditation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's the people that are at the workshop are going to get the first taste of it, and then later on, we're also going to add it to the Wonders Handbook.
And with all of this, you are going to give the tools to everybody there how to continue all of this. They are going to walk away with knowledge.
Absolutely. And on Wonders Handbook, we're going to release 99% of our information for free. And we are going to be there for support. That's what we're going to charge for, is how we support the community, because it takes work for us to do that. It takes energy.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I love so much about what you're going to be doing up at Soul Tech and your life's journey and what you are doing with Christine is that too many times the attendees that go to these types of things feel like they are not, that the presenters, the teachers, are always holding back. You have to give, right? You have to give. And I want everybody to feel just that they are going to walk away with the tools that they need.
Yes, we are all, like, I'm on this show bearing my soul to you and not worried about how it's going to affect, because I personally believe, and Christine believes, that there really are no secrets. And if you have the right tools, you can find out anything you want at any particular time or any place. And we want to be as open and transparent and supportive as possible, because we have the goal of helping this planet and humanity to ascend.
When the first time that I met Christine and she started to tell me her story, and I'm looking into her eyes, I'm like, man, this is a woman with knowledge.
They're bright.
Oh, man. Let's take a break. We're going to talk about day 2. When we come back, this is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church, talking to author Laura C. Cantu and what she's going to be teaching up at Soul Tech August 9th through the 12th at East Eddy Ranch. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Hi everybody, this is Rob Halford, the Metal God on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Okay, nurse, let's get this man to the ER stat.
Right away, doctor.
We see this every day. Heart attack or angina pain due to blocked and clogged arteries. Chelation can remove obstructions or blockages from arteries and help avoid painful and expensive surgery. Now there's Angioprim. It's a liquid oral chelation product that you take with juice. You start to feel the results fast. Angioprim increases blood flow all over the body, and that means more energy and strength to take on the day with less aches and pains. 60 years of research has gone into chelation, and Angioprim is the result. A safe and easy way to unblock your veins and arteries from buildup that slow circulation.
Paging Dr. Jones. Please report to the emergency room right away.
Log on now for a special radio offer from Angioprim. That's angioprim.com/radio. ANGIOPRIM. Angioprim.com/radio or call 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRARadio.com.
What can I say about the most popular tea on the internet? And what do customers say about Life Change Tea at GetTheTea.com? A lot. But by federal law, we at GetTheTea.com cannot make claims to how this product can enhance your health. We cannot even post our testimonies without being in compliance. So how do we get past the hump? Try our products at GetTheTea.com and see for yourself. You can send us a testimony, but we just can't post it. Bummer. Our products are GMO-free and organic. We pride ourselves in being the best we can be, and we urge you to take charge of your health. We're 11 years strong, and many of our customers have shared their successes with friends and family. Protect your colon. Log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. GetTheTea.com. GetTheTea.com.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious.
I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why fade to black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Our guest tonight, author Laura C. Cantu. Betwixters. That's what I'm talking about. She's going to be teaching up at our Soul Tech gathering coming up this August 9th through the 12th. And what I find most interesting about what you're going to be doing up at Soul Tech and Betwixters and your writing are all based on your life's experiences. And that it's just incredible to see all of this put together. When we're talking about fantasy, it makes you wonder about some of those authors out there. If they're not actually, people think it's fantasy, it's from the mind, it's creative, but maybe they're based on life's experiences.
Yes, and actually, there's sometimes that I don't get to write anymore until I wait for the answers. Because I don't get to make them up. I've even had arguments to say, this is what I want to happen, and my little Nevia main character is like, no, this is not how it is. So I'm like, okay, I'll wait.
Do you take notes?
I do. I take lots and lots of notes. I do. Yes.
Amazing. It's the conversation tonight when we're talking about parallel worlds or fairies. But these are my experiences and your experiences. And they're reading your books and they're like, wow, man, this seems so real. Well, it just might be.
Yep. The 3 kids aren't real, but they're based on people I know.
They're real. Stop it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about day 2. What's your workshop for day 2?
Well, we are going to try to teach some hands-on experiences to help people consistently teaching exercises to help people have consistent experiences like in their psychic and interdimensional and learning about who they really are.
Okay, let's take that a step further. So are you going to, we all have thoughts, dreams, experiences that we may not know. We may associate it with our, it's just a fantasy. It's just the way that, your mind works. It's just the dream state. But you're going to help people identify what may be real?
Yes, we're going not only to do that, but to also help them discover some of their strengths, like if someone is an empath or intuitive or, they see or they hear. We're going to talk about all of the different abilities that people have that they don't even know that they have and help them to learn exercises to strengthen that in a safe way, because some of these things can be done and be very, very difficult to control and face and things like that.
Is everybody an empath?
I think to a degree, because we all, if you go to the universe being that we're all one and we're all connected, you can walk into a room. Almost anybody can walk into a room and tell you if they feel good about it or not. They can get around a person and they can feel the energy of the person, and either they connect with them or they don't, or they're indifferent.
And for those out there that may know that they are, they've identified themselves as being an empath, for some, it is really, really strong, and it can be very emotional and almost uncontrollable.
Oh my gosh, I was an empath where it affected me so much that I became a hermit because I did not know how not to be one.
Right.
And when I was doing Chinese medicine, I was a doctor of Oriental Medicine. I would see patients, and I would get what they had, and they would leave and not have it anymore. Like this one guy came in with vertigo. He'd had it for 3 years. I treated him with one treatment. He never had it again, and that night I had vertigo and had it for 3 years. It sucked.
Oh man. Yeah, I had an issue last week. It got cured, by the way, this weekend. I had an issue with my left ear last week. Now, remember, I'm a broadcaster. I'm a radio host, so I'm wearing headphones. My hearing in stereo is very important. And so I had this issue with my left ear, which causes vertigo, right? You're dizzy. You can't walk in a straight line. And I was telling Rita, man, we got to go to Contact in the Desert. And how do I walk around like, not looking like I'm drunk? And it's a bad, vertigo is a bad situation for anybody to be in. And I had it all last week.
Oh, it was horrible. I would have spells that would last up to 6 hours at a time. And the finally, how I got rid of it was the very last time I had it. I'd been fighting against it, been like, oh my gosh, this is it. I've got, a blood clot or an aneurysm. I was well versed in medicine because I'd been to nursing school, taken tons of medical courses, Chinese medicine. So, whenever you do that, you start having everything. But the very last time I was like, okay, well, I can either let this vertigo control me or I can enjoy the ride. So I treated it like it was a great big roller coaster, and I let go of all of my resistance against it. And that was the last time I ever had it.
And you'll be teaching this and workshop too, how to deal with things like this?
We're going to be teaching, yes, how to, there's certain empathic traits that you can learn how to protect yourself from getting it anymore. Like, I can go into a crowd now and not have a problem. When, let's say, 10 years ago, I would have gotten bowled over just by entering a room full of 5 people.
Right.
So if you're empathic, we're going to help give you tools so that it doesn't hurt you as much, where you can turn it on and turn it off when you need to. You can identify yourself as an empath, because a lot of people, they think that they're just going around sick or crazy. They think that they're depressed when they're really around other people who have mental disorders, and they're just taking it on, or the other people that are sick. Yeah. So we're gonna help people identify what's theirs and what's not theirs.
This is so exciting to me because I know that there are listeners right now in the audience that have contacted me directly and have said this, Jimmy, I so want to go to ECETI and I want to hang out with everybody, but I can't. I can't handle the crowds. I can't handle it's just, and my response is, this is exactly where you need to be. You need to be around others that are, get rid of these issues. Come and hang out with us, make friends, learn, and it's going to be awesome for you. They want to do it, Laura, but they're scared to.
Yes, and I understand that completely. Like I said, I was a hermit for years. I would go months without talking to or without seeing a person.
I can't.
Really.
I don't even believe that.
Yeah, my husband would travel a lot, and he would go to France because he's from France.
Right.
And I would just stay home.
You're the most bubbly, outgoing, gregarious. You were really like that? You were a hermit?
I was, and I was not bubbly, and I was sick all the time. Yeah, that's why I love life so much, and why I'm so happy to be here is because I found my way through it.
And when you, I know that we're talking about this now, but if you were going to give advice to somebody right now that would like to come to ECETI, they would love to come and learn and do these, what advice would you give to them to leave the house, right? To get rid of this hermit thing and come and hang out with us at ECETI?
Well, unfortunately, it's not as easy as saying, hey, just trust and get on this, because they know their bodies and they know themselves more than we do. And we don't know what their particular issues are. Like if somebody's going to get on a plane and have some kind of electrical resistance against the plane, we don't know this thing. Mm-hmm. But what I would recommend is to begin drinking a lot of water, first of all. Mm-hmm. Water, there's most of us go around dehydrated. And whenever we don't have enough water, our bodies can't perform. So get in the best physical health that you can get in, because that's going to support keeping up your energy and keeping up your mind to be able to ward off. Because in Chinese medicine, there's this type of energy called Wei Qi, and breathing exercises. It's associated with the lung. It's associated with our immune system, and it's like the first line of defense. So breathing exercises can actually help strengthen your Wei Qi and getting your lungs in really good order. So that would be the first step I would take. And then I can't actually say come to ECETI this year, but if you're going to possibly die from getting on a plane from electromagnetic shock, or you know what I mean, poisoning.
Mm-hmm.
But what I can say is if you don't have those kinds of physical problems, there's going to be a course waiting there for you to help you get through this and to help you learn how to be able to go back in crowds again.
One of the things that I enjoy most, like at Conscious Life Expo or Contact in the Desert, and it's going to happen up at ECETI, is when I have those that come up to me saying, you know what, I am here because you asked me to come here. I would have never done this on my own. I listen to you talk about it with enthusiasm night after night on Fade to Black, and you're the reason why I'm here. And I am so happy that I did. And it just makes me feel wonderful. And then you know what? I see him the next year, and I see him the year after that. And it's just a wonderful experience to get out with other friends and family and get out there and hang out and communicate and share your experiences. There's nothing quite like it.
Yeah, and once if a person is at a degree where they're strong enough to leave the house, then these kinds of communities and these kinds of get-togethers are fantastic. But if you're just trying every day to survive in your own environment, and you're fighting to get out of bed and to eat food, there's steps to take to get there.
Now, before I've got so many other things that I want to talk to you about that I think are very important, but I want to talk about your publishing company. And are you going to have books up there for sale? And not, are you going to represent?
I hope to. Yeah, we're still talking about what kinds of things we can sell at ECETI. So we're in negotiations with that, but I plan to bring some books and have to ship them out before we get there. Yeah.
How did you guys start Winter Wolf?
I was looking at the world and I was seeing all of this dystopian future kind of things. And I have a belief system that whatever we entertain our minds with and our imagination, we can actually create in our reality. And I did not, and I speak like with my intuition to the earth all the time. And I do think that we can shift it so that there's not as much destruction. But as long as we keep investing our time, our energy, and our emotions into these stories of destruction and, earths that are not populated and factions living everywhere, then that's exactly what we're going to create. So I created Winter Wolf Press to fight against that, to start bringing messages of hope and love and to curb what's currently happening.
And Winter Wolf isn't just fiction.
No, it's nonfiction and fiction. Christine has her book on there. She has a book called Death Awakening to Life, and it's about her first death and how after she had her first death, all these ghosts came to her and how she helped them. And by helping them, she learned how to help the living. And then we have another book on there but this one is fiction. It's also for middle grade children called Forge in the Flame. And it's about helping young men to learn values to help them operate in the world. And then Christine's writing 2 more books in her Death Awakening to Life series about her second death and her third death. And she's going to talk about what happens when pets die. She's going to talk about what happens with miscarriages, abortions, when kids die, when how we can hold people back when they're dying and what things that we can do that make their journey to the other side not as easy, how they can get stuck. And I mean, there's all kinds of information that she's going to write about.
What do you make of what I think is happening right now, that there is a definite shift in attitude and consciousness on this planet? I think we went right to the edge. There was a lot of darkness and we went to the edge of the cliff. We took a peek, but I think it's changing.
I do think it's changing. I still think it's a lot of work to get there. Like at that near-death experience that I had, or that death of sorts, I was infused with some information, and I got this. I was told it was a complete thought that we're trying to upgrade the Earth from a Commodore 64 type of situation into a quantum computer. So there's still a lot of work to go.
How close were we to the point of no return?
I did not see that. What I did see whenever I was there was the beginning of time and the end of this time as we know it. And it expanded out and closed together. And what I realized was that whatever we do, we're going to get to our destination. We've already won. We have already won. It's just pulling it into the existence we have now.
Tell me about that for a second. Let's back up. You looked back and you also looked forward. What did you see when you looked back?
It was so I got to learn how there's this expansion in the universe, and then a contraction and expansion and contraction, and this cycle that we're living in, everything started as this little light, and then it expanded out into parallel worlds, into parallel universes and dimensions, and our world, and it looked like this great big web with this matrix all around it. And if I wanted to, I could have focused on a single light pattern and identified a single person, but I didn't. I was looking at the whole picture like a great big tapestry.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to see how it contracted upon itself and ended in the same point that it was before, except it was changed, but it was still the same. I can't put it in words how that happened. It's not, I don't think it's even possible to put it in words.
Well, did you study physics?
No, I didn't.
Because this is a very complex issue that you're describing right now, that, a physicist would be able to look at that and say, okay, this is actually what's going on, right? Get to the technical side of it. But you don't understand physics. You didn't study it. But
I would love to speak with a physicist, actually.
I could probably arrange that. But anyway, so but that is what you're describing here, and that is extraordinary. That it validates your experience to me.
Cool. Thank you.
Well, because that's exactly what is going on. And it's interesting how you describe, you wanted to keep it in its totality, but you could have taken it down to a specific soul if you wanted to.
Yes, on a specific timeline. I could have gone. It was what I saw was the complete picture. It wasn't. I did not have any desire to go look at any one particular moment in time on any one particular timeline, but I knew that if I wanted to, I could have.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, what about the future? What did you see there?
I did not, like I said, I wasn't looking at specific events. I was looking at how I would have to suffer if I came back. It was all about me and my suffering, but also the information that I could bring. Now here, I will explain to you kind of what I saw. I was in a place, and this place was called The Void. And I don't know how I know the name of it. It was just called The Void. There was no light around me, except there was a light at the very top that I wasn't aware of in the beginning. I became aware of it later after I made the decision to come back. And there was this great big dense blackness below me. In order to get back to my body, I had to go through that dense blackness to get here. And whatever information they were putting into me with 3D symbols and colors into my astral body, or I don't even know if it was an astral body. I don't know what kind of body it was, but I would have to go through that blackness. And as I went through the blackness, I risked losing all of it. So they had to tie it to my body, and eventually these packets of information are going to make it to me. And this is part of the upgrade. And a lot of people are doing this, and they just don't know it. And it takes time for this information to go through this denseness to get here.
When you say symbols, what did you see?
I saw
Did you write these down? You're an artist. Did you recreate any of them?
No, I didn't, because every time I go to look at them, they're fuzzy. But I know one of them that I saw was like this circle with all of these triangles inside of it. That's one of them that I saw, but I don't know. I go back to try to focus in on it, and I think that's some of the information that's still yet to get back to me here in the physical form.
Very interesting. And you went through a black. Now, you heard me describe where I was for those 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
I was in this black. It was just black. And there was there was a table there. And I always thought it was, like a chandelier, like a hanging lamp, a lamp that you would use for an interrogation, right?
Uh-huh.
And that's what was, but I never really saw it, but I assumed it was there. But there was a light from above that was lighting up the table, but I couldn't see the floor. There was no floor. I couldn't see myself. It was always this, this POV, right? Just my eyes. But I don't remember seeing my body.
I didn't see mine either. I just saw swirls and colors and symbols coming in all around me.
Oh, wow, man. And, I don't share this too often, what I went through, because it was just so, it felt so normal to me, and I wasn't upset. I was very happy. Like I said, it was like bliss, but I don't remember my body. And I talk about writing this music and the sheet music, the blank, and I'm writing, but I don't remember my hand. I don't remember a pen or a pencil. But,
and your focus isn't the same there. You think, oh, when I go do this, I'm going to think this way and do this. And when you get there, it's like, no, you don't have the same agenda or the same point of view.
It was bizarre. I remember things like this. I would stand up, I thought I was standing, and I would walk around or float around, whatever, and look into the black, and the music would be playing in my head. I would hear it. Again, remember, I'm unconscious. And then I would go back to the table, and then the music would get written out. And I don't write music.
Wow, right? That's cool.
And then I would go back and then what I just wrote, like playback, and this went on, for forever. And so this sounds so bizarre. This went on for 4 days, but I didn't know this until I awoke, right? But I didn't sleep during this 4 days. In the other side, you know what I mean? This was just a constant existence.
Yeah, and the reason I call mine a death of sorts is because I think mine lasted 4 days, but apparently my body was operating here and having conversations that I have no recollection of at all. It was like on autopilot or something.
I would do no, I shouldn't say I'd do anything to go back, because it was hell getting to that point. But I was so cool with it. And I remember just over and over again when my eyes had popped open and I was looking around, this guy left, this priest, he leaves. And for those few minutes as he's gathering, the medical staff to come in, I was just like, okay, all right, I guess I'm in a hospital. But I gotta go back. Right?
Christine says that, the blackness, because she's experienced the void and the blackness too, she calls it pure awareness, which is where creation happens. So, I find that kind of interesting that you were in pure blackness and creating music.
Oh, I was creating. I was a machine. Yeah, it was so wonderful. Well, now, okay, the Wanderer's Handbook, when is that going to be released?
Well, it's an online community at this point that we're building. And as we go, we are taking questions and trying to guide the experience based on what people need immediately.
Right.
At the same time, we're also trying to help them build foundations that they're going to need in order to get some of the more complex materials. So right now, we are in the process of building that website. And then once we get certain units and things in place, then we'll put it out into book form too.
And what are you working on now? When is your next book, besides, of course, the Wanderer's Handbook?
Like Betwixters?
Yes.
Yes, I am working on book 2 and through book 7, and I'm also working on the Sister series, which is about a bellwether. He's a guardian bellwether that's been demoted down into being a guide, and he doesn't like humans. So I'm working on that. And those should be released in the next year and a half, I believe.
I didn't get a chance to. We had so much to talk about tonight, but the different characters and types of beings that you have brought forward in Betwixters is simply amazing. And I don't know where it has come from, but we're going to have you back on the show. And I would actually like to break down these beings and who they are and where they've come from on another show. Could we do that?
Absolutely. I would love to do that.
The audience is like, look, okay, everybody, it doesn't matter how old you are. You just need to go and get the book and check it out for yourself. It's amazing. Where can everybody go and get Betwixters?
It is available on Amazon, and I also have download links on my website, lauracantu.com. And if you know who Terry Fader is, he's the headliner at the Mirage in Vegas, and he has his own show. He is the audiobook narrator, and he just really brings the story to life, just like I wrote it in my head. It was awesome.
Real quick, before I say goodnight, and thank you, and I look forward to seeing you next month. I can't even believe I just said that. It's coming up so quick, Soul Tech. Who did the animation in your trailer?
I did. I do all my own artwork, animation. I do all my graphics, everything.
I just wanted you to say that. It's incredible.
Thank you.
No, I'm being serious. It's incredible. How long did that take?
I've been learning graphics and animation since 1993.
It's really fun to watch, and it brings Betwixters to life. It's a really good trailer. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Laura, you're amazing, and we'll have Christine on the show, and we'll have her tell her story to everybody. The audience has heard a lot about her tonight, and we will have her on, and I can't wait to hang out with you up at East Eddy Ranch. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Laura C. Cantu, everybody. Now, all you have to do is go to lauraccantu.com. The links are over at Jimmy Church Radio. All of the books, the details, everything you need to know is right there. All right? Now, I'm going to come back. I'm going to open up the phone lines, take your phone calls. Open lines are next. This is Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. Stay with me.
Here, and you are listening to my boy Jimmy Church on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter, but listening to Jimmy Church will.
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously, go Beckley Tappy. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black.
The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black Blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hey, can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. The holidays are coming. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. Thank you, Laura C. Cantu. LauraCCantu.com. An amazing awakened being is Laura Cantu. She's going to be teaching up at Soul Tech with us, and all of her information is over on her website, and you can certainly go to Soul Tech Gathering and read about Laura. But she is amazing, and I can't wait for all of you to meet her. And it's so funny to hear her say that. Because Tango, award-winning dancer, and she's so outgoing in the thing. And for her to say, you know what, I just didn't leave the house. That's amazing, because she is so bright and bubbly and outgoing, and she's great. And so how did she pull that off? That's something that you will learn all about up at Soul Tech, and she's just one of the amazing speakers and presenters and teachers that we're going to have up there August 9th through the 12th. SoulTechGathering.com. Thank you, Laura. Just amazing, and her books are incredible too as well. And I knew that she did the 3D animation. I just wanted her to let you know that when you go and watch that trailer, that is her. Amazing. And the other part that I got from this is that she writes this fantasy, and Betwixters is incredible, but this is based on her life's experience. Well, not all of it, but based on her life's experiences, and there you go. That's what makes the book and her writing so special. And so there you go. I'm going to open up the phones really quick. I'm going to go live. And if you were at Contact in the Desert, now we're going to do our recap special tomorrow night, and we'll open up the phone lines tomorrow night too as well. But if you were there, I want to hear from you. I do. All right. Phone lines are open. Let's go right now. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Yeah, Jimmy, this is Phil Christophers again.
How are you, Phil?
Oh, I'm doing good. I got a few of the pictures. I saw a few of the pictures of you guys there. It looked like it was fun. Sorry I missed it. I'm looking forward to Soul Tech. I don't know whether I signed up for Marie Cantu's...
Laura Cantu. Laura.
Lori, I'm sorry.
Well, you will now.
Yeah, I think I might. Though I'm doing some of that already. Been working on my meditation time has kind of upped itself. I was doing it regularly, and stuff's starting to happen. So
yeah, my meditation time happens each night on this show. That's my in that
I'm a firm believer that you can do it in many ways, but I mean I'm talking about a specific meditation, doing binaural beats and breathing and
that's right.
All of that.
Yeah. And I when there is, and the first time that I experienced it, I didn't realize that is what I was doing. But I would, I was an artist and I would draw, and that was my job. And I went through an experience. I drew this poster for the city of Pasadena. And when I went through that experience, and it took me about 3 months to complete, and there was a couple of sprints there where I spent probably 16 hours a day working on it. And you go into the zone. And when you get there, and I didn't realize, now I know that that's where I was going with this. And when you get into the zone and you get into that Zen-like state, other things happen when you are there, right? You're thinking about yourself, you're thinking about life, you're thinking about the future and the past, and you're in the zone. And I would look at the clock, and the clock would say, 6 p.m. And then I would look up again, and it would say 8. Right, 8 p.m. And I would think about the last. Right.
But I did have something on the fairies too that I wanted to say, because what she said was really kind of it hit me that maybe this was actual what I experienced. I remember it was I've got about 6 acres here where I live, and used to have gatherings here. And on one particular gathering, I'll admit I dropped some mushrooms, but I had an experience with what I call the dark fae. And I only say that because they were kind of tough with me. They were giving me, they're telling me all the bad shit that was going on the property that they didn't like. So, I had to talk to my people and get them to stop polluting and all that. So
okay.
Yeah, so I can kind of relate to what you were saying about those in-between fae that didn't go, to the other dimension all the way. They're kind of
So now what you're saying is the subject of her book in Betwixters was a fairy that came out of their world, got stuck in ours, and was trying to get back, right? And I experienced what I experienced. Like I said, I saw a really amazing photograph of a fairy. I still cannot. I'm serious. I saw the picture, and I still can't explain it. I cannot explain what my eyes are seeing, other than it's a fairy in a little blue orb, in a glowing thing. And now, I know it sounds crazy, but the picture is what it is. And so, quite possibly, that particular fairy that I saw popped out of their dimension and went back. Otherwise, we would see them all over the place, right? But you're...
Right, well, I mean, and this is the thing, is that the energies on this place...
Get it out.
I opened up a portal between those realms so that they can come through at certain times. I think it was Beltane when this incident happened.
Did it happen again? You said you opened up a port. Did it continue?
Well, things have changed around here, so there's no issue with it, and I haven't been able to raise those kind of energies on this. I don't have gatherings here anymore.
Right. Okay.
So,
well,
yeah, so I don't know that I could. I could probably, now that my third eye is starting to open up, you probably could go out on the property and talk to those particular fae and say, hey, how's things going? Am I doing better? Check in. I think I'll try. Now that she kind of reminded me of all that, so I thought, yeah. Maybe I should go out there and see whether I can talk to him.
Why not?
Yeah, well, it'll help. I mean, I'm always looking for stuff to write about. So.
Oh, there you go. But yeah, go and do it, man, and let me know what happens.
I will. Especially if something happens. You right?
Thank you so much, Phil, man, and behave.
Yeah, take care. And everybody say a prayer for Guatemala.
That's crazy.
The volcano. Yeah, I did my Reiki thing, and they were drawing a lot of energy. So
yeah, that volcano's called Fuego.
Fuego, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Phil, and we'll do just that. Thank you so much.
All right, have a good one, man.
Yeah, you too, man. Thank you. That situation down there is pretty frightening. It's pretty frightening, and certainly our thoughts are with everybody down there. Fuego. Mark Tirana just posted. I'm going to retweet this now. I have to. Let me get this up. I saw this earlier today, and let me retweet it so everybody can see what I'm talking about here, which is this. There it is. It's up. Okay, so you can just go to my Twitter feed, #F2B or mine at JChurchRadio. And look at this picture. Now, the information isn't here that Mark had up earlier today. It is what looks to be, I don't know, it looks like an ET craft on a flatbed. It's something on a flatbed, and it's huge, rolling up the freeway in Australia, I believe. Okay, well, wait a minute. The steering wheel's on the left-hand side. Okay, there is a motorcade in front and back of this. The original post from Mark, I believe. Let me see if I can go back to Mark's original post and find out what was this just tweeted once? Mark, I need you to go back. What's the information behind this image? I need to know. When and where. Somebody posted this and said this was shot today. Okay, so it looks like it's a craft on the back of a flatbed. It's got an escort, and cars are pulled over on the right side of the road as this thing is passing by. And so what is this? And where was it? Let me get back to Twitter here. I need more information. I need to know where this was photographed. And somebody, I thought I saw a post that this was, and I don't know if it's a joke, there was a response to it, that this was from Journey to the Center of the Earth. So is this a movie prop? Or because if it's not a movie prop, and it's ginormous, by the way, looking at the front of the semi, which is probably 8 feet across, right? So then this is definitely 30 or 40 feet wide. It looks like it takes up the entire back of the semi, so that's probably another 40 feet. It's got vents on the top of it. Now, this isn't a flying saucer. This is more organic. And it looks, by any description, that this is south of Ponca City, and saw this being escorted with about 20 police cars. It's a spaceship. They exist. Okay, where is Ponca City? I have no idea. Let's see. I have no idea. Where is Ponca City, Oklahoma? Okay. Ponca City is in K County. Okay. Now I'm looking at it now. Finally, I've got a little bit more information. Okay. So Ponca City, Oklahoma. Let me see. This is north of Oklahoma City, 80 miles. 80 miles north of Oklahoma City. Okay, so this was in the United States. What other information is out there? Now, this was photographed today? Who took the picture? I would like some more information on this. And yes, I agree with you. It looks like it was from Independence Day. Kind of looks like that. I want to know. I need some more information. Who originally posted this? And I need some more information. This is a pretty incredible picture. Even if it's just a movie prop, it's an incredible picture. But if it was E.T., if it was something, wouldn't it have been covered? Wrapped up? It's pretty cool, whatever it is. And I just want some more information. I need to know. Yeah, it looks like a manta ray. I agree with that too as well. It's really an incredible picture. So I need to know. I need to know who took it, where the original post came from. I want to contact this person and get some more information. It's pretty cool. If I would have seen this going up the freeway, I'm flipping a Yui and I am going to empty my gas tank. I am going to follow this to the bloody end. I want to know exactly what is going on here. It's an incredible picture. That's really cool. Also, I got to go back to this post. I wanted to comment about this. This made the rounds today. I saw it on some mainstream news outlets, and I did see it posted. This, what do you call this? This obit that was in, now she's dead, so I guess I can go ahead and talk about it. This obit posted by Kathleen Demlow Skunk passed away, and so her two kids, Gina and Jay, posted this obituary today. And I'm going to read the whole thing. Kathleen Demlow was born on March 19th, 1938 to Joseph and Gertrude Skunk in Wabasso. She married Dennis Demlow, at St. Anne's in Wabasso in 1957 and had two children, Gina and Jay. In 1962, she became pregnant by her husband's brother, Lyle, and moved to California. She abandoned her children, Gina and Jay, who were then raised by her parents and Clements, Mr. and Mrs. Joseph Shunk. She passed away on May 31st, 2018 in Springfield and will now face judgment. She will not be missed by Gina and Jay, and they understand that this world is a better place without her. Wow. Holy crap. So, as I read this earlier today. I'm glad that this popped up in in our Sandbox feed, because I had to go back and think about my mom. My mom raised a lot of children on her own. And the last thing she did was abandon them. She stuck it out. And that's a rough, for a single parent to raise Carol, me for a little while, Mike, Danny, Heather, Greg, 6 children. I left and went to go live with my father. But I was with my mom through that very, very rough period. And as you all know, my mom passed away 2 years ago and in Tampa, Florida. But my mom is missed, right? She stuck it out. And I don't know, I don't know how a mom goes and does that, right? I don't know. I thought instincts were supposed to, those motherly things were supposed to be the strongest out there. But it's amazing to me that I will say this. I don't know Gina and Jay. I don't. But I would think that Gina and Jay are the opposite, right? They learn from that. They know about the pain that they are feeling here. So much so that they would go and post this and have this printed in the newspaper, this obit. And the last thing that they would do is abandon their children. You learn from that. So if there is a good side of it, is that they were better people than what they thought the world was. And their mom, unbelievable. And they were just so affected by it that they posted and had this printed, this obituary. It's just incredible. And so it makes you go and see something like this posted. And I would hope that that there are children out there that see this and just remember their mom and dad, number one. And number two, know that if you go and mess with your kids' lives, that after you depart this earth, you're going to get an obituary like this. And you don't want that. It says that, okay, thank you. It says, so Gina and Jay, I know that you're better people because of all of this. I know it was rough. But if you were so driven to post this obituary, that I hope now that you are cleansed. And I know that today you feel better. You got it out of your system. Okay, going back to this UFO on the back of this semi-truck. Found another link regarding a similar picture like the one above that was taken in 2016. It says that this particular picture was taken by Charlene Yazel. Okay, now here we have a movie. Okay, hold on. Let me mute this. Okay, let's see here. And this is from Brazil. Okay, all right. Let me fast forward this. Let's see what's going on here. Forward. Okay, I see it. It looks similar. Okay, boom. Done. And it's going by. Oh, I have seen this video before. I had now. Yep, I remember this. Okay, when was this posted? Okay, yeah, I've seen this video. This I have seen. Now, let me freeze this. Let me go back to the picture from... Okay, so the video is taken through an area with heavy trees, and the still image, there are no trees. Yeah. In that, this is later or earlier in the journey. Okay, now, when was this video? Thank you, Edgardo, for posting that. See, you guys are good. That's why the Fadernauts are the best audience in the world. Okay, so let's go back to this. This is how easy it is, right? So you go, boom, done, and you go, boom, boom. I'm copying the URL, and let's go here, and let's see when this was posted. So this is 2,000 views, and okay. Huh. Yeah. Okay, so this was published on March 29th, 2016. Okay? Down Route 77, escorted by U.S. agents. Okay. And what is interesting here, 2016. Okay. I've got to wrap this show and get out of here. But let me just say this. So today it was posted that somebody took this today. It was seen in Oklahoma today. All right. Well, clearly it wasn't seen today because the video was posted over 2 years ago. I went through the same situation when I was sent these amazing triangle images, triangle craft, and I got a complete story photograph this morning in New York, and it was done with witnesses, and this guy sent it to me, and this was taken right off his cell phone, and I went later, it was the next day, I wrote up an article. Oh, I didn't write it yet. But, and I chased down the same images, and they had been posted on the internet 7 years prior. Right? In another state, and with a whole nother story tied to it. And you just got to be careful. You know, taken today. What most people don't realize is that all you have to do is right-click on an image, and you're going to find it. And you can do a Google search, and you will find out when and where this stuff was originally posted. And you can even go further back. So, when you see something like this, and it's cool, I didn't bother today to do the obvious, which is right-click and go and just find out where it came from. That's all you got to do. It's simple enough to do, and that's how we do it here. Thank you guys for going and figuring that out. So it's at least 2 years old. And yes, I remember seeing this video a long time ago. Saw it immediately. I didn't remember it. You got to love the internet. And you got to love Fade to Black. And you got to love Laura Cantu. Thank you, Laura. Great show tonight. LauraCCantu.com. Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Camarion. Show is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vitoa, Mark D. Kovar. Webmaster, Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy. SpaceboyMusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, and syndication is KGRA, The Planet. This broadcast owned and copyrighted 2018 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Tomorrow night is our Contact in the Desert 2018 special event. Until then, everybody be safe. Go Beckley Tepe.